Hey guys, Greg at Best Choice Trailers. We just got a Max D LHX 40,000 pound Gooseneck Deckover in off the truck. Wanted to take you for a walk around it. This is the redesigned engineered beam model. Shown here is a 25 plus 5. This would be a 30 footer, 25 flat deck, 5-foot dovetail with your flip over ramps. A lot of what you see here is standard equipment. I'll try to point out any options that I'm aware of as we go around. Again, being redesigned, I need to familiarize myself a little bit with this because there is a lot that is standard equipment on these 40Ks. It's going to come in about 10,300 pounds empty. It's going to give a net legal payload of about, we'll say just shy of 30,000 pounds. And just for, I'll say argument's sake, that is an accurate, I'll say 29,000. This isn't one that you can throw any tongue weight on. Tongue weight's already counted in that GVW. It's 2 16K axles is 32. Balance is going to be your tongue weight. So that's, I'll say, a firm 29-ish thousand pound payload number. So let's take a walk around. I'll show you all the features on this. Up front, 3-inch gooseneck ball coupler. Of course, you would need that to get over the 30,000 pound GVW mark. Plated up top. Nice heavy duty Temco. You've got your Fastway breakaway. You don't normally see it. Nice little add. Of course, you got your heavy duty safety chains, high test, and a nice spot to hook to. Of course, a 7-pin plug, standard on pretty much all your modern trucks. This is a dual prong connection plug instead of a single. Nice little detail. Again, this is the engineered beam. So you see it's a continuous neck. Plated out. Underneath, you've got a full toolbox, of course, lockable. Neat setup. Spare tire mount in the neck does hinge down. Of course, it uses your heavier bolts, being that it's going to be a much heavier dual tandem 17.5 rubber. But again, it does swing down. Then behind it in the neck, you're seeing the backside of the chain tray locking toolbox that I'll show you here in a minute. And then this has dual 25K 2-speed Yost semi-style jacks. One of the many nice things about them, of course, they are heavy duty, but little detail I like, Max does these all laser cut. If you've had a trailer before, certainly little detail I hate on trailers are they don't always, I'll say, fit. You've got that little piece of metal strap. Just, I don't know, pet peeve of mine, I guess. Your heavier 25K jacks, of course, heavier pin settings, and then you've got your 2-speed in and out for high and low gear on those jacks. Dual side steps, they are serrated steps on both sides. Continuous rub rail other than your D-rings. They do a nice job. Take the time to start, stop, so you're not ripping up strap. They are a 4-inch D-ring, 3/4 by 3. This might be my fastest video here. It's about 97 degrees out. But chain tray and neck, lockable toolbox. You see the back side of the chain tray rack. Of course, you can see pierced I-beam frame. You can tell because you see the top of the beams, and you've got your tread plate over your wheel wells. Tie downs, 1/4-inch rub rail, stake pocket, chain spool, and then of course your D-rings. You've got 4 rings basically front, and then you've got right at the start of the Beavertail as well. Side toolbox 4-foot on this one. Of course, lockable. Like the handles on these are a little bit nicer than some. I believe they're either 16s or 18s on your side boxes, but you got your front box. It's also pre-set up. You'll see the hangers for a second box should you choose to want to do that. Extra markers, you've got basically every 4 foot or so. Then you've also got your mid marker light. This is a neat setup. Not every manufacturer does this. Hydraulic brakes on this are standard equipment. A little bit, I'll say, nicer hydraulic actuator, but it's also mounted right next to your tire wheels. Why do that? Why spend the money for the extra toolbox and whatnot? Designed to basically cut down your brake line and give you the fastest possible response time on electric hydraulic brakes. Got a little bit of additional room, so I guess you've got I'll say a mini toolbox back here. See the front side of the HDSS suspension. That's a heavy duty suspension system. Basically it's a mini, if you want to research a Hutch 9700. The trailer industry, I'll say, has borrowed from the semi-style industry, very similar in design. Designed for a high duty cycle user, somebody that's, I'll say, using it regularly or daily. They say the service life of an HDSS is a 1,000,000-mile service. You've got your reinforcements to the side frame. Underneath here, just got a torque tube running down the center. You've got a 12-inch on-center I-beam, junior I-beam cross member. Again, we'll try to zoom in. That's the HDSS. You'll see it's a 3-leaf heavy suspension instead of your traditional slipper spring that you would normally see. (17.5) rubber. 17.5 rubber is heavy duty. Typically you're about 4,800 pound of tires, so you do the math, 4,800 times 8. You got probably a little bit extra capacity on your tires. Oil bath hubs. The suspension on the HDSS is adjustable. It's one of the numerous features of it. It's also built from higher tensile strength steel. Of course, you've got your heavier center slipper. Max on these is building out your pierced I-beam. So basically over your fenders you're built out, or I should say lack of fenders. 5-foot Beavertail. Of course, you've got mud flaps, standard equipment. Like the latch on these, keeps you from bebopping down the road. Don't have to throw a tie strap over it. Lots of little details on these, just make it a little user friendly. Of course, plated out at the back. These springs are pretty stout. You've actually got to break them in a little bit. Doesn't want to come all the way down to the ground until she's broke in because of how much spring is on it. I will say it's probably the lightest with all that spring of all of them. I had no problem flipping that over, as heavy as they are built. You've got your center markers. Got an extra stop turn tail on the outside, and then of course your marker all the way outside. They do a clear lens on these. Pretty nice look. Also, you know, relatively speaking, as heavy as these are, it's pretty easy install to mount these ramps for whatever reason if you need to take them off or whatnot. Another little detail to point out, a lot of times you're going to see an I-beam frame and then you'll come back to a fabricated tail. Typically these trailers by a lot of brands are going to be built in pieces, your neck, your frame, and then your tail. Typically frame's going to be I-beam, back will be fabricated. This is I-beam coming all the way back. Just thought I'd point that out because you don't often see that anymore in the industry. Ratchet rail. Ratchets aren't here, put the rail on standard. Somebody wants the ratchets, we can add them. Just makes it where for the guy that don't need them, keep the cost down a little bit. For the guy that does need them, typically we're gonna have all that stuff in stock. So ratchet rail coming back. 30-foot trailer, probably gonna put 6 ratchets on this if you need, with 4-inch strap. It's a 14-inch engineered beam. You can see it start to taper there in front of the axle. This unit's going to weigh in about 10.3. You can also do this in a 40-footer. We've got a 40-footer. I don't believe it showed up quite yet. Probably going to add another 1,000 to 1,500 pounds on that. So this one's 10.3. Probably going to be closer to maybe 11.8 on that guy. This one would be more ideal for, I'll say, your heavier equipment, and certainly your other 40-footer do a lot more for hot shot work and whatnot. There's other sizes that can be configured as well. Typically on your pierce beam, we're going to get down to about a 32-inch deck height. If you see a trailer that you can't see the top of the I-beam here, typically you're going to be more like a 36-inch deck height. This is available in different colors. There's all kinds of available options. You can get side boxes on the other side here if you want. You let us know what you want, and we'll try to put something together for you. But again, we do keep 40Ks in stock. So if you need something today, give us a shout. We should have something here that'll work for you. If you want something a little bit different, give us a ring. We'll put an order together. 717-220-4220, or you can visit us on the web at bestchoicetrailers.com. Thanks for looking.